It's December as I'm making this video, towards the end of December 2020. And about a month ago, early November, I was waking up in the morning and I heard the sound as I was laying there in my bed. And I couldn't believe it. It was a mosquito. Was buzzing around my ear, and I was thinking, oh, you have to be kidding. This is it's supposed to be November. and, and I pulled a blanket over my head, and the thing is, I could still hear it. And as I was listening closer, it started to make me laugh. Because you know how it is in the hot summer night, and you're laying in bed and all sweaty and trying to be cool, and all of a sudden you hear this sound, and it's like, oh man, I gotta get rid of this thing. So you get up and start swinging all kinds of ways, trying to get rid of this mosquito. And hot South Dakota nights, and that happened quite a lot. But here it was, yeah, in the early part of November, and the way it sounded, yeah, this mosquito, it was like, it's barely hanging in there, trying to come after my blood. Yeah, I, I, I thought about that. When I heard when I heard that, oh, I had to laugh. But then I thought about it. Yeah, first I swung around, and I don't think I got it, but it stopped nevertheless. And I was laying there thinking, uh, that's crazy, yeah. And I started to wonder, it's just trying to live. Yeah, it's barely hanging in there. It doesn't want to die. Yeah, it's trying to survive, much to the inconvenience of me. Then I thought, let's take a look at that. Why did I say that? Much to my inconvenience. And I started thinking, boy, that's sure a selfish sentence when you think about it. Much to my inconvenience. And I had to think, look at this world today. How people throughout the past 100 years or so, that all these inventions were created so that life will be convenient to us. Making refrigerators, making stoves and ovens, and next thing you know, dishwash machines and laundry machines. And think about that. Think about that. You think that these are necessary things. Think about that. Really, really think about that. Think of what our ancestors went through. How did they survive? Obviously, they made it. They didn't have these so-called necessities. Necessity coming from the word necessary, like you are absolutely required to have these things so life will be good. But where do these things come from? You have to think, okay, what does it take to make all these inventions, cars, computers, everything? Where does this stuff come from? it doesn't just come from a store, it came from someplace before that. Yeah? To make the products, they come from nature. And to get these things, whatever they are, we have to take them from nature. And when we're doing this, look, just think about it. Now, these companies that are going out into nature and mining for these things called precious metals, rare metals to make smartphones and computers and digging for oil so that we can have these inventions for our convenience. And as we're doing these things, we're only focusing on ourselves. We want to make life convenient for us. And when we're doing this, we don't give a shit about where are these things coming from to make these inventions. When we're digging for these precious metals and drilling for oil and all this stuff, when we're doing that, it creates a waste. And the companies put this waste back in the water. And this is poisoning the water. The poison then gets into plants. Animals drink this water. People, humans, drink this water. And it pollutes the air. We breathe it. The plants breathe it. The animals breathe it. We all breathe it. We take it in. And we end up polluting ourselves. All for convenience, for the humans, for human convenience. We abuse and violate nature because we think we are above it, that we can control it. So what we're doing is we're putting things into two categories. That which is for us, that is convenient to us, and anything else is not good. Or you could say it's the enemy. It's bad. Because it's not good for us, we call it bad. This is duality. Duality is when you take something, it's a complete thought or idea or whatever, but it's complete, and then you only choose the parts that you think are good for you, and everything else is bad. So you say, that's not good for us, so we leave it over there. We do whatever we can, and whatever we do, and if something bad happens from that, well, we put it over there to the bad side. The companies are doing this. Oil companies, yeah, they drill for oil, and then whatever they do, there's always some kind of waste involved. And okay, just put it back in the nature where there are no people. And that way it doesn't bother us. But it does bother us because mitakwe easing. Everything is related. Everything is connected. So whatever waste we put into the nature, it affects the plants, it affects the animals, and we are connected to them. So eventually it's going to come back against us. So when we do this dualizing thing, we say, okay, the bad things go over there, and we make them stay there. So when we do this process, we're starting things also that we may not be aware of. Or when we do this, on that side, there is going to be stress. We are the ones creating that because we say that is inconvenient. So on that side that we label that side, the bad side, when we're doing this, we're also putting stress on that side. This is because of us being dualistic. Yeah? So when we are doing that, then something is happening over there. We're the ones that started it because we dualized it. We separated us from them. So something is happening there. And it's not in their control because we're the ones who started it. So what happens, it could result in something that is part of nature rebalancing itself. And this is natural law. Yeah? As soon as nature experiences some kind of disharmony, some kind of unhealthy thing, it will rebalance itself. It will do what it has to do to rebalance itself. So it doesn't matter how this happens, nature will rebalance herself. So now at this time, it's humans that are causing this unbalance. We are the ones who are doing this to nature. We are violating nature. We are giving stress to nature, to the earth, to the water, to the air. We are the ones doing that. And as such, nature doesn't see things as us and them. Okay? Humans are like that. But nature is not that way. Nature looks at herself and she says, okay, there's something not right here. So I'll do this and this and this, and we'll start to fix the whole picture. Nature sees the whole picture, including humans. But humans, we don't see the whole picture. We only see that which is convenient for us. And we call that good. We put ourselves above nature. Everything has to revolve around us. That's how humans tend to think. Not all humans, but a lot of humans. And so whatever is inconvenient to us, we say that's bad. So we think we are above nature. We think we can control nature. So when something comes out, like a disease or a virus, right away we say we have to eliminate it. We have to destroy it. We'll create a vaccine and we'll destroy it, when all that time we're the ones who started its creation. Because we are the ones who put stress on nature by trying to be above nature. We're the ones that put that stress there. And nature, she sees herself as including everything. So when she sees this imbalance, she says, okay, I'm going to rebalance here. No matter what, no matter who gets in the way, no matter what, she sees the total picture. I'm going to rebalance. But selfish humans are not that way. And selfish humans are more like, okay, we are above nature, and so we're going to control it. And if a disease comes, we're going to control that too. We're going to find a cure and fix everything. When all that time, it was the selfish humans who were the ones who put the stress on nature. Nature was only rebalancing herself, and that's going to come any way she can do it. And that could arrive in the form of a disease. It could arrive in the form of a virus. We have to learn to look at life the way nature does. We have to look at everything. We have to try to see from the perspective of others, to try to see from how does our actions affect everything else. Not just other humans, but how do our actions affect the animals, the plant, the air, the water? We have to think like that. And this way we see the perspective of the earth. Yeah, our grandmother Earth. We have to try to look at it from her perspective. She doesn't see races of people. She only sees humans who are just a part of everything. That we are not the ones in control. We are not above. Nobody is. We are a part of nature, and we need to learn to respect that if we don't know that already. Some of us do, but obviously not enough of us, because look at what's happening today in 2020, most of this year. Well, actually, all of this year. And that really, I believe this started before 2020. I think a lot of things happened before 2020 that set this up. So what is happening today actually started earlier. So we look at this disease, and now in England, there's a new strain of this coronavirus, this COVID-19. There's a new strain. It's moving faster, and it's taking people faster too. Now it's the 21st, and there are countries that are blocking flights going to and from the United Kingdom, which includes England, Scotland, Wales. But flights are being blocked. They're stopping them. They're canceling the flights because they don't want this new strain to spread throughout the rest of the world. This is happening right after alleged so-called vaccines have been created, have been approved to stop the virus. Now, the thing is, at the time of making this recording, these vaccines have all been rushed approval, emergency approval. Normally, it takes a long time to test it, to make sure it works. And I remember in the beginning of 2020, one of these scientists from America was saying that even if a vaccine was found, it's going to take at least a year to have it tested and approved, and it's going to take a long time before it can be distributed. And the same scientist is now saying that what has been created, the vaccine that we have now, well, actually there's several of them, that they're all wonderful and they're going to fix everything. It's the opposite of what he said in the beginning of the year. It sounds like a lot of things are rushed. A lot of things are haphazardly rushed. And when you haphazardly make a decision, the result might actually be worse than the condition started. And that seems to be proving to be the case here. Because now we have a new strain of this coronavirus, and it's moving faster. It develops faster. It takes people faster. Think about it. Number one thing we have to do is we have to, and I'm sorry I have to say the words have to, but we're at a critical stage here. Yeah, we have to, number one, go within ourselves, and we've got to be able to develop a perspective where this perspective includes everything and not just ourselves or not just our species of being human. We have to look at everything. That means we have to respect nature. We have to learn that we are just a part of nature, that we are not above nature, that nature includes us, so that we are more respectful, we are more humble about it. That's where it has to start, this thinking. So when we start thinking like that, we don't see things in a dualistic way of us against them. So we don't think that, okay, I want my life to be convenient, but that we think of everybody. That we think, okay, we learn to get along. We find ways to get along with each other. We don't always have to agree with each other. We can learn to agree to disagree. This is what is called respect. As long as we don't force our ideas upon others. Because when we do that, this is what happens, what you see in the world today. So what we have to do is learn to develop a perspective that is including everything. That we learn to live with nature, that we learn to respect it, that we are a part of it, and then we don't have this us against them thinking. We got to learn to live with each other. We can still have differences, like I said, agree to disagree, but we have to do this. And when we do this, we stop thinking in a dualistic way. And then that stress that we put on nature, it neutralizes because we start taking care of nature. We start taking better care of ourselves and each other. We have compassion for each other when we think like this. This is what's behind that Lakota phrase, mitakwe oyasing. We're all related. But this goes within us too, yeah? So we have to do this to ourselves as well. We take care of ourselves physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And where these four parts that I just mentioned connect, this is the sacred center. We all have this. This is how we are connected to each other. So when we learn to live in this way, we're not only bringing blessing to ourselves, we are bringing blessings to each other, and we are living with nature. We are respecting that we are a part of nature. Then this helps the other parts of nature. We no longer call it inconvenient. We just say, okay, that's those guys, and that's cool. It's no problem with that. We take the stress away that we put on it when we say they are inconvenient. Do you see what I mean? That's how it has to start. It has to start in the way we think, the way we live our lives. This is the most important thing. And to appreciate every second that you can as it's happening. That means being in the present moment, in the here and now, because this is what you know for sure. So this is what you should enjoy. This is what you should live, because how you think now affects the future. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. It's always changing, but we could influence it. We do have power in the present moment. So we enjoy what we have. We enjoy each other every second. That we think, what is really important? And when it all comes down to it, it's love. This is what love is. When we have compassion for each other, for the earth, for everything, and for ourselves. This is love. Sometimes it goes through a little bit difficulty, but we learn from it. Like we can now. We have a great opportunity happening right now in this world. And it's up to us to grab that opportunity, to take that, so that we have that perspective, this universal perspective, that we are a part of nature, that we are a part of each other, that we are connected to each other, that we have the opportunity to communicate respectfully with love towards one another. This includes disagreements. That's okay. As I said, we can agree to disagree. We can still respect one another. We can still love one another. That comes to this Lakota phrase, Tekichi Hilapo, love one another. That's the way a man would say that. A woman would say Tekichi Hilape. This is a very, very beautiful and powerful expression. So, on that morning a month ago, I stopped swinging at that mosquito because he just wants to live. But I didn't give him my blood either, though. Yeah? So I thought different about it. He's a part of nature. It's a part of nature. It's trying to live. Well, viruses are that way too. They're trying to live. So we have to respect it. And we have to realize, hey, we're the ones that created it because we put stress on nature. I really don't think it started in China. I think it started in several places. Just like the way humans came on the earth, we came out on the earth in several different locations in the very beginning of this earth. And I think this happened in several places. Maybe not at the same time, but nevertheless, it's because we put the stress on nature. And nature is trying to rebalance. She's not trying, she will rebalance. Her goal will be achieved. And it's up to us. Are we going to be a part of that? Are we going to live to be a part of that? And the only way we can do that is to develop this perspective that we are a part of nature, that we are not above it, that we are a part of each other. And I don't mean just humans, but everything on this beautiful, beautiful Unchimakha, Grandmother Earth. We have to develop that perspective. And then we also take care of ourselves too. We enjoy the present moment. Everything has a right to be here. When something goes wrong, we have to find out how did that happen, and then we treat it from there. We send love towards each other. That means not just humans, but it means to the earth. It means to ourselves. It means to all life that we show respect to everything so that we don't have this perspective of, I must make everything convenient for me. When we think like that, this is what brings the viruses. We are the ones who create it because we put stress on nature. We are not above it. We never will be. We are a part of it. And if we do our part in a healthy way of living with it, living with nature, learning to respect one another, sharing, learning from each other and with each other. This is what Mitakoye Oyasing is telling us to do, this concept that we are all connected, we are all relatives, we are all related to one another. We all come from the same four basic elements of the universe. We all have a sacred center. It's how we live our lives. And if we live it in such a way that we perceive that we are a part of nature, that we are not above it, that we have a responsibility to nurture nature, we can really make a big difference on this earth. It's up to us. I invite you to do that, to grab this opportunity. We've lost a lot of people so far, a lot of innocent people who had no bad feeling towards anything, and we've lost them to this disease. This disease sees everyone the same. This disease has the perspective of nature. It sees everyone as the same. That's how nature is. And to deal with this, we have to change our perspective. So we have to realize that once we start thinking, oh, this is convenient, oh, that's inconvenient, that as long as we think that way, even if we somehow manage to control this coronavirus, there's already a new one on the way. Because we did not change our perspective. Another worse one is already on its way. So we have to change our perspective. And this can only be done in love, through love. Hamitakiapi, hechetuelo. This is the truth.
To read more about Lakota Star Knowledge spirituality, you can read my book called Wichocha Otechike. You can see the book cover on the right side of this screen. This book contains the information to what I talk about on my Lakota spirituality videos. To purchase this book, please click below where it says Show More. Clicking on that link will open up the description below. And there you will see a link called To Purchase My Books. As you will see, it's an eBay link. Click on that eBay link and there you will see the information to get this book. To learn more about speaking the Lakota language, you can read my book called Chonte Etaha Ooglake, Speaking from the Heart. You can see the book cover on the right side of this screen. This book contains the information to what I talk about on my Lakota language mini lesson videos. To purchase this book, please click below where it says Show More. Clicking that link will open up the description below, and there you will see a link called To Purchase My Books. As you will see, it's an eBay link. Click on that eBay link and there you will see the information to get this book. Lila Pilamayelo. Thank you very much.